Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, lots of stuff. I don't know where to start, so I guess on what's on my screen. Why not? I downloaded this on my phone. It's not quite the same as on the phone. The phone's map. I was looking around to see if I could figure out how to change the map. I don't see a way, but it's not quite the same. So it's a little hard for, it's almost like I'm starting from scratch mentally looking at it, trying to conceptualize what's going on. So it looks like the temperature was just warmer and dropped. Okay. Just looking at these, oxygen was lower, and then this is basically while the Earth supernovaed. That's my interpretation. This is basically approaching beforehand, although I think it might actually already be within it. 550, like that's really just at the like kind of questionable, like where exactly did the supernova phase begin kind of time frame. So it might be a little further, but best we got here. So that's that. That's that. Initially, carbon dioxide was much higher, which means we are probably living with much higher carbon dioxide, but it was on totally different radius Earth, though. So that's not really necessarily relevant. Um, this I found interesting. I didn't actually know this. Since this, for all of human history, and according to how we see it, the day length has been 24 hours. But really, this is before the Earth was expanding, so it looks like there's, and depending, maybe it was shorter day lengths by a few hours, 3 hours. I don't know if that would matter in terms of things of, I don't know, luminosity of the sun. A bit lower back then. Again, which is interesting because it really wasn't that long ago then. And I don't quite understand what to make of like the sun and all these other systems having ages that seem like they're related to Earth. I mean, it really brings to mind the concept that all is like there's really just one system. And we call it Earth. It is Earth in essence, but it's everywhere. It's the same system. Maybe not even Earth, just everything. So, this I also found interesting. It went basically to zero number of genera of marine animals. Mind you, a lot of this I believe to be physically caused by current flows. Okay. So, with that in mind, I was wondering if I looked at this a bit, if I could maybe come to some conclusions about things. Because, mind you, one of the unfortunate things about our expanding Earth model is there's really nothing like this map for expanding Earth. There is, but they're just they're not the same. It's hard to find them. I found one on a YouTube video once that I haven't been able to find again, but I haven't extensively looked for it. That I think had the expanding Earth, and you could go through different times and like look at it a bit without the ocean, because the ocean like this wasn't there at all. It just wasn't existent because it was all a single landmass. And so, like, this segment right at the beginning, 550 million years ago, according to radiometric dating, we have this structure that very much has like a wing going on and like a W, generally speaking. Reminiscent, at least, of the shape I've been talking about with regard to Hawaii as a sphere. So, enough where I'm like, that's interesting, that's curious that this is a very similar shape here. This is distinctly not the case. But I feel like it like mirrors some other shape on the opposing side that's like reflective of what's actually going on. Is this like relationship to the other side where there's just things drawn for the sake of like explaining it? Not sure what that does. So these impact craters give us a good idea of at least where we're looking at. Like this is Africa, this segment, even though it hasn't yet shaped into it. Like this impact is Africa, so this must be generally Africa. Oh, I see. They have the shapes. Oh, oh. I'm I'm just looking like so zoomed out that I'm not noticing the little details. Okay. Oh, here's Here's the United States. Okay, I see. Sudbury. Wait, is that the United States? Sudbury base. This should be like over here. I guess maybe it moves somehow. That doesn't really make sense. I wonder if these impacts are just like not. Let's just get rid of them. Okay. So we got this W thing going on. We got some features over here that maybe have similarities to like here. As we keep going, maybe we'll find some things of that nature. Oh my god, sorry guys. I know I'm nasty. Okay, let's carry on. Carry on, my wayward son. Let's go back like 50 mil. 50 mil. Alright. We still got that W. We still got them dubs. Little G dubs here. Looks like a middle finger. More crap. Let's keep going. Oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of forming. So I think there's some like something of some sort of actual like relevance to the connections that we see as it keeps like moving forward in terms of like I think we have to pass Pangea because it's almost like basically in order to explain things the everything back here is just kind of like separated so that it can collide here leading into Pangea. So it's kind of some bullshit, not gonna lie, because it wasn't like this at all. It was a single landmass, so like it just isn't the case. But so it's basically for this purpose that we can see it closing in here and then merging. Now we've got suddenly this and this combined with mountain building orogenies. So we're basically, the purpose of this happening is to explain this mountain range, the Appalachians. So mind you, as I explain it with currents and explain basically everything on Earth by these undercurrents, and in geology, at least pointing to a relationship to this aspect of things, where plate tectonics does not. It's the method of plate tectonics to explain the Appalachians and other mountains is to do that type of thing. So we're seeing that happen here. So that just wasn't the case, really. So we can almost pass that time to once Pangea actually is like separating. Mind you, like even then, it's a single landmass. Although maybe it would be real crazy. It would be crazy if like it opened wide initially and emitted something and then closed back up quickly, but then that doesn't really make sense though. Like then the pressure would just be balanced. It would be like if a bottle exploded, like there's no more like things going on. Like, it would have been just like that, so it had to not do that, pretty much. So like this, it just wasn't so at all, and is only done to explain orogenies. Okay, so maybe we can move to about here, leading into the Cretaceous, where it's still so this is pretty much what's going on here if we ignore this. Like this hasn't really formed. I bet like this is all that's actually formed and all this is just not actually there. If this could just be removed entirely. This removed. And all of this removed. Just removed from the picture in a smaller sphere, then we would probably have a very accurate picture of what's happening. Like this was formed, this was formed, this was formed at around this time. But if we go back, like this is essentially going up this way in reality. Seemingly around a ball, like there's a current going this way, and then so essentially this current coming out here branches around like that, but here really it's more so going this way. I'm not sure if this is exactly the segment that I would like it to be. Here's the dragon, so it is. This is actually the segment that I would like it to be. Perfect, and thought it was. Good. Okay. So basically, it flows out and branches into here, over here, opening up space, but Australia is actually, yeah, this block is actually up here pretty much in this segment. Attached Papua New Guinea to here. And so the current, there's a current that's going around the pole, I believe, and then through, or yeah, this way. Basically, instead of going through, where's India? They have India here, but the reality is it is here. And it's essentially flowing a current this way. So that's why this is going on, is it's flowing a current this way that then actually reaches here and opens this, but it's even forms this region really. So maybe there was, I don't think there was any ocean like that, like an oceanic crust. Like, I think it was mostly at the time, what we would call continental crust or shelf. Like, I don't think anything that we would deem oceanic crust existed on Earth at the time. Water just filled continental crust regions, I believe. That not all of the surface water was on the surface of the Earth. Okay, so before I get too distracted, essentially the current flowed out this way from India, though, which was essentially right here, probably is really quite accurate. Right from here. Here's Gujarat. Or no, here's Gujarat. Right from here. This way. This way. This way. This way. Across here. But then it also, from that same spot, which is up here, went out this way, where that current that was flowing that way actually was flowing into Australia, which was there. And so this current ran into that current and went this way, up along here, to then go basically around a structure that it formed the pole, and then down the coastline of North America, basically creating the coastline by having this current flowing this way from the mantle puncture hole, this way, this way, this way, this way, and then around the pole, and then this way. At which point it's coming down here and it's colliding. This is like a collision zone in this region. And so if we go back, so like it's flowing this way, maybe along the boundary. Is this existent then? What is it? What's going on there? I don't know what's up with that. It has like it has an image of ocean. None of this is existent at 250 million years radiometric dating, though. The only places that is the Mediterranean and some other, maybe the one region we were looking at, but not this region. I don't know why it's there. It should at least be like this. So it looks like we may not even have seen the actual... Let's go back some more. I mean, certainly its effects are happening substantially. I feel like what's happening here at this period is essentially it was a sphere, just like this was a sphere. I know. Essentially, yeah, the Earth was a sphere at this circumstance where it had a current begin to flow within the sphere's boundaries that physically propagated preferentially. And so because it formed of a similar process to how like this lava ball formed blob, and to how Hawaii formed, and how just generally systems form of this nature where there's this type of thing going on where it's pretty much Earth. Then when current started to flow through the Earth from, where's India? Here's Florida. Maybe over here. Here it is. Right from here, yeah. It basically flowed this way and this way, so that makes complete sense. And then this way, and then even this way it went around the pole, and then that way, and then went this way. So one way it goes under. Or wait. What the? Sorry. Where am I? I'm saying this is. It does not make sense. I'm saying this is frickin' India. This is Hudson Bay. Oh my god, pardon me. It looked a lot like it. I just didn't look around it. Where is India on this? It just maybe isn't believed to be here. It's gotta be here. I gotta find it previously. It's a little tricky. Especially when I'm thinking that I know what I'm talking about. Where are you, India? Over here. Oh my god, this thing. India. Oh my freaking. I really. People are like, it's right there. Okay, okay. It doesn't even. Here we go. Here we go. Where did it go? Oh, oh, it's already attached back to Asia. Oh my god, dude. Freaking nonsense. Is it? What is it attached to here? That's Asia, right? We gotta... Oh, I see, I see. That's what they're saying happened. Shit. Maybe it was forming. Let's go back. I just don't think. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It just. It was attached. It was attached. Okay. Got me. It just separated from these, which it was also attached to. So when this whole segment moved over, not just this, moved over, then it did this. Which is, where are we at? I don't see an exact 40. So what I was thinking though, at some point, if I can find it, is about chakras. It's just not as visible on these. It was so noticeable on the other one. I was like, there's chakras everywhere. Maybe more back here. Like this snake feature. I've seen the snake feature here and there and not even mentioned it. It's just constant. maybe even if we watch it like there, it kind of propagates in some way. Because this is essentially based on data of the Earth's like materials, so it's not like we don't have good data, it's just on the wrong model. It's not quite capturing what happened. So this is definitely a good place to look at though for the process. So like up, for instance, up here, I noticed this from this one, there's this pole thing, and then there's a really distinctly like mirrored structures even here. Maybe opposite though in the bend down here and the bend over here, where there's a current coming across this one, but then a main current coming across over to here, producing like a yin yang maybe out of the two. I don't know, but they're very similar in that way. And then if we follow that like general trend down here, it kind of goes down this way. So it looks kind of symmetrical at this point because it always was symmetrical-ish, but back here there's no symmetry at all because it's just, well, in the like individual components, but like in the overall Earth it's not very balanced. But as we move through it and approach like a more recent time where we are able to, like, the error bars in the shaping of the Earth aren't so large because there is an ocean formed like here, so like now it's reasonable to like account for this ocean pretty much, even back to like 20 million years. It's really close enough where it's not too bad. Like, it looks like it still adds a lot of radius in that amount of time. This is a little bit odd. This region, I don't know if that's based on data that it doesn't show up in this region. Until very recent? Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, like this is all formed. Okay. Yeah, it's just part of this software. Okay. So this was called Earth Viewer, by the way. Let's see. Biointeractive.org classroom dash resources /Earth Viewer. Cool. In case I forget to link it, there it is. Okay. I downloaded the desktop app. Okay. So that one is, I'm just gonna stop this here and move on to maybe some cooler subjects. Pardon me. I just feel like this one was a little slow going because I'm just like trying to figure out what exactly, if I even want to talk about it. Like, there's so much. Before going on to things that were more like making me want to record right now. This was just something I was looking at earlier that I didn't want to just disregard. There's certainly something to it. I haven't looked through like the totality of maps, but the presence of this like W shape And then I also, this one's kind of triangular with a little, like, big opening in it kind of thing, like Mauna Loa. To a point where it's like, maybe. And then because, I don't know. Where this is like the rest of it, like the North Pole region. Let's see if this becomes like towards the North Pole before I end this. Because I feel like that's northern Russia. There's Hudson Bay. Okay, it's starting. Okay, it's Greenland there. There. Okay. This is near where the pole. Yeah. Okay. Right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's good. That's good. This then maybe. Actually, am I being unreasonable? Let's follow. Let's finish the other side. It goes down into. Whoa. Oh. Just fucking explaining things with fucking. Whatever. Okay, so that's chunk is there actually. And then the other one seemed to be there. Where is like this chunk? It's so cool looking, whatever's going on there. It's almost like a negative of Greenland. And this is almost like some kind of separator, intermediary stage between them. I don't know if, I mean, just the fact that that chunk there, this one has the North Pole region attached. Maybe it is kind of like Kauai's equivalent, where then like this is like North America. This is like the rest of this W, everything in here, pretty much. And then this is Kauai and like Nihau, Keula, like this region maybe is at least this, and maybe some other stuff that's not really, like maybe over here even. Because essentially all these oceans are drawn for the sake of them and not because they were necessarily present. Unless there was evidence of this region. Again, I don't know if there's evidence of like a previous ocean. Certainly there's no oceanic crust that, as far as I've ever heard, that's like underneath the upper layers that has older ages. That would be interesting, like mid-Atlantic, there's oceanic crust underneath that's like 1 billion years old. Something of that nature. I've never heard of anything like that though. Okay, till next video. See ya in a few. Peace.